who are we going to be after 10 years? Who are we going to be after 20 years? Do you think that a technology will arrive in next 5, 10, 20 years that we can embed, we could upload our mind, or we could slow down the aging, that we should be able to live at least 150 to 200 years? Can we upload our brain and transform into something else and we become a technology or a computer once the body is diminished? Things like that. I really want you to give a thought. Forget about the word transhuman, but think about evolution. Think about what adds value and what's normal today and how frequently that norm was changed from last 1,000 years, and you will find the answer. Today we're going to talk about transhuman. Transhuman is a very controversial topic for many years, almost a decade. You may or may haven't heard about it, but I'm pretty sure you have heard about making humans a robot and how robots gonna take over the world, and it's gonna all hurt all of us, and maybe hopefully the entire evolution of this generation can die. That's the fancier term is called transhuman. Transhuman is a terminology that has been in from last few years. It is getting really popular with all the new inventions that we have coming out, like artificial intelligence, neural network, nanotechnology, bionics, stem cells, and many other things that has helped many other diseases and also with the aging. Transhuman is basically a future terminology in which we are gonna be embedded with technology. We should be able to live more than 100 years. We can upload our brains to the cloud or to the cell phone, and then we can take that copy of our brain, all the memories, to anywhere and transform into another human. So technically, one of the explanation is that by doing the mind uploading, the state of mind, one point at a time copy into the server, you could either be taking daily backups or monthly backups, and then when this physical body is diminished, you can transform that into another human being or robot, and that will become new of you. And I know that's very scary, very fancy, but believe me, the days are gonna arrive very soon. There are many different companies that has been already doing the research along with Neuralink from Elon Musk. And these companies are really getting closer to read your brain in a live fashion. There has been a lot of experiment and technology that we have out there. They can look at the neurons and tell you exactly on the screen about a picture or about an incident that you're thinking about. There are also enough experiments done on the mice by transferring these memories from one mice to another, and basically, it performed the action that was predicted. So if someone here is saying that we're not gonna be living in the world where transhumanism will be here, then let me tell you this, you are right. We will never be transhuman. We will never become a robot. Why? Because that term transhuman or transhumanism already got a bad reputation out there. And that's the reason we will never get to a point where there will be a generation of transhumanism or there will be transhuman walking around. Just like the real life robots has really bad reputation, so today anything towards that, it's big no-no. There's a political reason why don't do this. Just like 10 years ago, there was a big aha moment about artificial intelligence. But today, artificial intelligence is very common in the world of cloud, analytics, technology. Everything is AI. And we live in this world of AI, where if something is not AI powered, it's not cool and we don't buy it. So the word transhuman, even though got the bad reputation, the purpose that it serves, which is basically connecting body with the technology to make the human body or brain better, it is going to happen, but it will not arrive under the form of transhuman or transhumanism. It could be neural network. Neural network has been picking up from some time, and it could be another neural humans that could be walking. If you guys don't badmouth about neural networks, and if the brand name neural network is protected, then it will happen. But if any of you think out there that we are gonna stop the rate of evolution, and if this is not gonna happen, then it's too bad, because there is nothing that you and I and all of us can do to stop this evolution. This evolution will continue. Today the children that they are born, for them smartphone is just another device. Tablets are used in the school, and they have grown up in this world which is already AI powered. So after 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, when we're not going to be around, there will be definitely resistance. Yeah, the word transhumanism will be still bad, that no one want to get there because our parents told us so, and because they got to know that these transhumans are really the bad people and we shouldn't do that. But what it will do, it's either way it's going to happen, whether you want to call it nanotechnology, nanorobots, bionics, or whatever name you want to give them, including the stem cell regeneration. It's going to happen. Every day, starting from Homo sapiens till today, we have evolved. And we have used the things around us to make us better. A very good example is the clothes. You know, if something that is attached to a human is no good and make us transhuman, then these clothes are also making us transhuman, because this is looking me better right now in front of you. This camera that I'm talking to is also part of transhumanism, because this camera is allowing me to record this conversation and put it on the internet, which is AI powered. So everything, we already live in this transhuman world. This is the transhuman earth. What basically the differentiation is that there's still a lot of resistance out there. There's still a lot of opinion out there about a fear about what could happen if we become transhuman, and the group of transhuman can take over the world. But think for a moment, that could actually happen today. What if a group of people who has access to all this technology, or can get access to all this technology, can take it over and can cause a lot of damage? That's why we have rules, protocols around us, standards, and also many other organizations make sure that that doesn't happen. That's the same concept will apply after 50 years. Even if we'll have a transhuman with us, or if we become transhuman, a good example is if my mind can be uploaded into the cloud, if the data can be exported, still with the regulation, the laws, and the enough authorities, we can have the laws which we can protect the general humans from the people who are using transhuman technology. I know a day that there was resistance using even a smartphone. Today, we live in a world of smartphone, where smartphone is the primary way of communicating. Still, the postal services out there, I don't see any postal service, government shutting it down. And that's the key, is that it will coexist. The entire transhuman or transhumanism will coexist with us, because they will not be called transhuman at that time. At that time, they will be AI human, or what I want to call is a real intelligent human, or a neural human, because the transhuman world has gotten already a bad reputation by the movies, by different scenes, by showing different pictures. And it's no one's fault. But as you look at the general evolution, That's how it happens, is that one particular word or term or concept just get this bad branding, and that stops us becoming that. But the fruits of what that is, if it's good for humanity, are already delivered in another names like neural network, artificial intelligence, nanorobots, and you name it. And so even though there's a lot of resistance outside for the transhuman, the day will arrive in which our brains will be already connected to smartphones, to cloud, to the data centers, and we should be able to do Google search or look it up without using a middle hop called our fingers. Today we are already transhuman. The only difference is that in order to connect that phone, which is already connected with our brain, the neuron fires on our brain say, hey, let me look it up, and then it signals our fingers, and our finger will basically write it up, and then our eyes will take their visual. So there are basically two middlemen right there of fingers and eyes, sensory output and input. What we're basically doing is we're trying to provide more automation and trying to do more multitasking by taking out two of those things. And so in the future, the same thing, if I want to look it up something on the internet, I should be able to look it up without having my brain call my fingers to type, and then obviously later on my eyes read that information and passing it back to Huron. All we're talking about is taking those two hops away. And that is going to happen because companies, larger companies like Google, Tesla, Elon Musk, Facebook, and you name it, they all have invested. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as they're going by the rules and they're looking out for the good things, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Because understand that the fruits of transhumanism will be already delivered into various other concepts out there, as long as it doesn't have a new bad name, bad reputation outside. And if everything that I just mentioned will get bad reputation, then there will be some new concept out there, a new name out there. But the evolution will continue. So I remember that about 100 years ago or 50 years ago, the computer that we had was thousands times less powerful than the computers that we have. Our smartphone is actually more powerful than the space shuttle that was sent to moon. Our smartphones are more powerful today than the first supercomputer. Our smartphones are more powerful today from the Voyager aircraft. And that's why every year we have this artificial processing power that is helping us, and we are already using it. So if you want to call it transhumanism, well, we already live in this world. Maybe you just haven't looked at it right, because all it's different is that if something that has two hops where I can do something with an organ, my brain sends a signal and I'm typing it, whether in a phone, computer, tablet, and then my eyes, my ears, or my taste bud is taking that input to give it back to the brain. We have already accepted the concept. Where the resistance comes in is that providing a little more automation from that, where one or two, both hops can be eliminated, so that we have more automated, and then we can focus on other things that's out there. Same thing in the medical science, is that whether we like it or not, the robotics has been already started using in the medical science, and there is nothing that we can do. We cannot stop it. Average lifespan is going higher and higher every single year. The rate of that is really slow, but if you take a look, starting from ever since human became human from animals till today, our average lifespan was 50 to 60 years, versus today it's about 80 years. So we did evolve. And so what was normal? Is this the life extension that we get after every 50 to 60 years? Do we become robot after 50 to 60 years? No, we still stay human, and that's the concept. Is that today, even if we get a technology that is embedded into our body that help us stay alive more than 100 years, more than 200 years, we still stay human as long as we have the authorities, protocols, rules, standards out there to control from bad things to happen. And that's exactly you need to remember, is that even if we resist this concept of transhumanism, or just what I want to call it in layman's term, a speed of evolution, then we're not going to be here after so many years, and our kids, the generation that comes after us, they will take care of the same. They will evolve. So there is no way we can stop this evolution, whether you want to call it transhumanism, artificial intelligence, neural network, nanotechnology. The time has arrived where we are already using all these technologies. The only difference where I'm seeing resistance is providing one little step of automation where you embed that technology rather than holding the smartphone on your hand. Why can't you implement that whole processor and storage into the brain permanently? You're already looking at it all day long. So what's this resistance? Just because you're wearing it and not holding it from the hand, that is making you transhuman? Then today we have GoPro cameras that people are wearing all day long. We have a wearable watch. Do we become transhuman? Do we become robots by just wearing that watch which is intelligent? Or do you have fear because now this watch is going to be embedded, there's not going to be a band around it? Well, then for the folks that suffer from hearing issues, they already have a permanent implant surgery that has been out there for so many times. There are enough surgeries that has been out there that will implant something in your body to fix the disease or enhance the lifespan. I don't want to debate on the exact technical term on medical side, but I hope you get my concept, is that even though maybe you don't like transhumans, maybe you saw that movie, maybe those images that are stuck in your mind from that movie that you saw about the robots, right? But you have to understand, it's just a word. The fruits of transhuman, what it's trying to say, will be always delivered. We're going to have eyes with the lens in which we should be able to zoom in directly from our eyes. We should be able to look at the infrared. We should be able to hear the frequencies that we can't hear. We should be able to do so many things by embedding this technology. Today, everyone is okay with holding those technology on their hand and using it. But the moment we start talking about putting this technology into our body, that's where the resistance comes in. But the point is, there are wearables out there, there's enough implant surgeries out there. Why don't we call them transhuman? They still act like human. And that's the point, is that I really want you to understand, if you are one of the person who is passionate about transhuman and you have an opinion about it, I'm not saying whether transhumanism is wrong or right, but think about it. Are you just resisting it because you saw some movies and those pictures of aliens are on your mind every time you think about transhuman? Is that the case? And if so, next time when you hold a smartphone on your hand or have that Apple or Samsung watch on your hand, smartwatch, what is that? You're already doing it. And so why resist? We should definitely make sure that someone doesn't utilize this technology to misuse and make something that we don't use to. But if it's adding value, if it's help us find the answers, if it's adding value into our own life, our own body, brain, the life that we deserve, there is no standard defined that humans should live X amount of years. The last I heard is that as long as humans stays about 120 or 122 years, it is all normal, because the person that lived in France, last time it was verified that that person was 122 years old. So now, does that become the normal? Or you want to call it that the person was transhuman, the person was supernatural? And that's the point, is that we debate about these things by pretending something and keep bragging about these words that may have a bad reputation out there. But the focus is on the rate of evolution to provide the value. And that's how we're different human civilization. That's why we are not animals, because we are evolving. There are many civilizations that could be outside that our brain is not even mature enough in the universe to find out. But if we evolve faster, we should be able to find the answers. And that's the point that I want to bring about, is that I'm trying to connect with the people who are doing the research on evolution, the stuff that adds value into the life. Whether you want to call it nanotechnology, transhumanism, robots, artificial intelligence, call it whatever you want or give it another name. But we really need to work together and focus on the issues that gives human life better resistance, better immunity, a good efficient living, and more brain power. And to the point that if we need to take a snapshot of that, we should be able to do so. Today, if I know an essay or story, I can easily write down, right? There's no one's gonna stop me, and I just took a snapshot of that story. If I remember something, I can also paint that. And so that's the point, is that if you expedite the process of same thing with the most accuracy, which you call it a taking a backup of your mind and uploading your mind, and you should be able to download the time that you want to review. That should be all normal, as long as it's allowed within the guideline, within the protocols. And that's, I really want you to focus, is that next time you hear about transhuman, think about it. If that's what it is, then are you not transhuman today? And if you don't like the transhuman word, can you adapt that by using any other word called neural network, neural humans, or AI humans? There's already a great example outside, which is a Sophia robot. And when I looked at the video and I did research last year, it was really impressive on how far we have come. There are experiments done by neural network company. Look it up. And there are so many people that you will see speaking the TED Talk. They will talk about the great things. And I really want you to connect with me if you are one of the person who is doing the research about transhuman or how we can add value or anti-aging, because we really need to work together in order to add value into our own lifespan, into our family on the earth. And that's the point, is that just by saying transhuman, you just badmouth the transhuman. That word doesn't have a bad reputation. That does not mean you or I or anyone else can stop the process of evolution, because it's happening at very fast rate. But because it's fractionated, there is no one good big effort. There is no a particular common place where all these efforts are tied together. That's why we see all these silos of evolution. But the fact is that it's happening at a very fast rate, and no one can stop it for foreseeable reason. So think about transhuman, and if you have a question for me, if you want to get more details, please feel free to reach out to me. We can talk about it, or if you want to step up to the stage, we can definitely have a conversation. But that's it about the transhuman. I saw a very conflicting information about this term, so that's why I decided to create this video. To help you understand, just like people couldn't stop artificial intelligence to come and become normal today, they're not going to be able to stop transhuman. Maybe it's going to arrive in a different name, but it will happen, because it all goes back to adding more value into human, giving better brain, better body, more efficiency, more value to live on this earth. And that's what we needed. So give it a thought. Let me know what you think. Please comment below, reach out to me personally, and we'll definitely talk. But I'm going to be having some more sessions about the transhuman, and the better word, a stuff that provides value, not necessarily a stuff that will harm us, but a technology, an innovation, invention that will benefit human civilization. And it's already happening today. And my goal is to connect those people together and see if we can collaborate and expedite the process of innovation together. So that's it for this session. I hope it added some value. Again, feel free to reach out to me. And I'll definitely see you next time. Until then, take it easy. Have a good one.